while you're at camp, at least 4. Everybody, did you write anything in basic?
I wrote a ton of blue cards.
Okay, good. So you'll be able to help me out with this particular class.
Yes, sir.
So it's one thing to receive a blue card. It's much different to write it and give it to somebody. So we're going to go through a little bit of blue cards and kind of what I expect you to do with these things, what Mr. Chevalier needs as part of the OML as he goes forward, and some of you will be writing them during the FTX, so on and so forth. So we're going to go through this pretty quickly. So apparently this was a blue card that someone got back at one of their programs. Like, probably the least you could have done other than not write it. So well, we're going to look and see what we need to do here. So here's the blue card. I got a better one. Let me pull this up. All right. You see that better? Nope. All right. So y'all seen this. So someone tell me what goes in here.
The situation. Oh, hey, look.
So background. What do we think? Hold on here, Bar. I'll get you. What do we think should be going in there?
Maybe some expectations, stuff that you want to see from them throughout their term.
But this is at the end of training. So this is not initial counseling, right? So none of you got a blue card before you started your lane, right? When'd you get it? After. So what goes in the background? Saldana.
What their position was and what they're responsible for.
Could be.
Also, maybe what the mission was, like that he played a role in.
Could be, but again, right? Situation.
Time constraints?
Could be.
Wait. What did you say?
Time.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was about to say.
Okay, Erbar. It's your time to shine.
So-
Wait. What do you got?
Like, if you compare Grizzly to Wolverine, like, Grizzly was very chaotic and all would go down compared to Wolverine.
You're stretching there, but go ahead, Erbar. Tell me what goes in here.
So the background section, it's basically information that helps you understand what exactly you are evaluating that day. So something that would go in the background is like, this is their first leadership lane ever. You know, things that helps you understand the kind of pressure, kind of event going on. They only got 20 minutes for planning in this section. They went, FLRC or the conference course, they went to mountaineering school already. So, like, they should be experts. Like, it helps you understand the person and the event a little better.
Or it rained all night long and motivation is low.
Morale.
Right? So this is like context, right? So what's happening kind of before this training event happened? Like he said, first time being rated as a squad leader or platoon leader, or second iteration, or got no sleep last night because it was raining like crazy. They had to pull him out of the field, run him back to the barracks, then come back out early next morning, got 2 hours of sleep. Right? It's a little bit of context, right? Because that sets the stage on how you're going to evaluate them, right? So you may be a little bit lenient towards them because they had a rough go at it before. Or this is their 4th time in a leadership position, okay? A lot of this stuff should be going pretty good. Or unqualified in previous leadership rotation. Or failed to meet the standards, right? So it's putting some context of what's come before. Now let's come over here to situation. What goes in situation? Hold on there, Barb. I know you know. Don't think too hard. Situation.
Who or what they're commanding. Be it a platoon, squad, whatever.
All right, got 2/5 of it. 2/5 of what goes in there.
Is it just like the 5 W's?
Boom. 5 W's. Who, what, where, why, when. What's going on? What's the situation? You know, who? You know, first platoon. What? Conducting a squad attack. Where? You know, grizzly or whatever the case may be, or whatever the scenario is. When? You know, middle of the day. Why? You know, training. So it's your 5 W's, right? That's what goes in here. Because when you're done writing this, this is going to go to somebody who may or may not have been out there. So I am going to get all your blue cards. And I'm going to look at them. And I have to be able to visually understand what's going on written behind this so that I can understand everything else that went before, that comes after this. Right? So I'd be able to read it and go, as a PMS, can I take all of this information on this blue card and continue to develop you during your MS4 year? And so that you can continue to develop while you're at camp, right? Hey, next time, you know, you really got to work on X. You did really well here developing others, but, you know, you didn't do any rehearsals. I don't know. All right, observations. Describe the behaviors and impact on mission and or soldiers, cadets. So what are we writing in observations?
What that cadet did that stood out, or like the role they played, so their position, any like significant things that they may have done, or tasks to their like subordinates, things like that.
So are we just observing? I guess, so as a blue card writer,
You're grading them, so
are you grading them yet?
I don't know. I
this
just blue
block?
card like more.
Yeah, there's more, don't worry. So let's kind of go with keywords here.
In this box, you're only making comments about what you saw they did. Cadet disseminated all information properly.
Right.
I was just gonna say, like, during like an ambush, they will all blend into like a file instead of spreading out and not using cover.
Right. Cadet air bar froze up on the objective. Right. We're not saying it's good or bad or indifferent. We're just saying what we saw. Right. What else do you have to add to this air bar?
I mean, they're hitting it. It's observations. It's the things that you see them doing. I would be a little careful about focusing on critical things because you're gonna have so many average people. Like, write what you see happening, not just critical. It's about right.
Air bar froze up on the objective. First squad leader took over on the objective. Or second squad didn't know what the signal was to lift and shift fire. Right? It's straight observations. Now, these could be, if you wanted to write that out, because of your notes later, you could write a side note. Some people write like a positive or negative to refresh your memory later for the improve and needs improvement.
So if they're in like a higher leadership position, like a PSG or platoon leader, would their like observations be like even more broad? For example, like he made that, sir made the comment about second squad didn't know how to shoot the signal for shift. If you're there in a PL, would you focus on like all the squads, and like how the whole thing going, or just how they're personally doing themselves?
So there's nothing wrong with definitely seeing like what lower subordinates are doing. Like that's integral to evaluating something like PL. But generally you want to focus on specifically the people that they're briefing because I mean, they might not have been able to impact that second squad if he already disseminated correctly to the squad leader. So.
Is this based off of like being graded on leadership or being graded on tactics? Because I feel like it was very dependent on your cadre.
It was. So I go all the way back to what I started with this morning. We need to have a foundation of tactics because that's what we use to evaluate leadership attributes and competence. It's the method of tool that we use to do that. So if you don't have a foundation in tactics, then your blue card turns into you don't know how to do a raid. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do this.
It's not really grading on leadership, it's more grading on like how you don't know tactics, which then leads into your leadership.
Right, because they can't evaluate you on leadership because you don't have a base of knowledge. to be able to go, I have a fundamental understanding of how to do a movement to contact.
They kind of go hand in hand or have the base.
Because you may want to start focusing on tactics, but you got to focus on those leadership attributes and competencies, right? You may want to say, missed SP, but maybe they would take an extra time in rehearsals to make sure everybody understood, so they were developing others.
Yeah.
So be cautious, because the MS3s coming up are not going to have that firm foundation. We're building that foundation right now. So you can make a comment about that, you know, but you're going to look at all the leadership attributes and competencies. I didn't bring a book with me. I should have brought, I do have. So Airbar, do you still have your book?
I don't have my book. They made me turn it in.
So I have these printed and stuff.
So they grade you off.
Right, so
It'd be
they grade-
There's like a blue card in the sheet, and they would just flip back and forth the whole time they were doing it.
So I have these for you to do that, to the exact same thing. So you're gonna take a look at this, right? So it says attributes and competencies, split it, it's a nice little circle. Leads, did they lead others? Did they develop others? Did they achieve the results? You know, intellect, presence, and character. So you all got evaluated on this. So I'm gonna give this to you, and it kind of, what the book says, it kind of puts this in the middle and says what's above the standard, what's kind of below the standard, and what to comment on. So we're just making observations. Okay, what goes in here? What? Cannon.
You basically put like what they did right and keep, and then if they did it wrong, how to fix it.
Okay, let's stay away from right and wrong. Sustain and improvements.
So it's exactly what you just said on the card. You're putting, so the sustains improves. You put like leads others, their character, like things like that. Yeah, so basically everything that's on that card, they're little key like points that later on that they can like grade you on, or they'll identify how they, what they saw that helped your, I guess how you can improve by leading others or something.
Right, we're going to use the observations to identify 3 areas to sustain and 3 areas to improve, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all we're going to put here is like the abbreviated version, right? The 2 letters, sometimes they put the 2 letters or just write out the words, because on the back side of this is where you're going to write a quick 1 to 2 sentence on what was observed. All right, reinforce and recommend. What goes in here?
Well, you did good. Well, you could.
So this is more context, right? Hey, you know what? You really did really good on this, but you need to work on this. Or, hey, you were able to get all the rehearsals you needed done on time, and you were able to do, you know, additional PCCs, PCIs, and identified a problem. We're able to it. So it's again more context, more information to say, hey, you're doing really good in this area. Keep up on this area, and or, hey, you really need to improve on this area. So then here's the back side of the card, right? So here's our 3 sustains. So you got 2 lines, clear, concise, to write out what they did well. So someone give me an example of something they had from camp in this block. Irvine, can we have somebody else?
I was just like, no one else talks. So
I know. Let's get somebody else. Let's go, Russell. Give me something that you got in the sustain block that you remember from camp.
For me, it was I got like the dissemination of information. Made sure that everyone like just is getting the right information for the mission that we're about to do.
And so when that was written here, right, what were you able to do with that sustain? Did you make sure you did that next time?
Yeah, next time that I was up as like a squad leader, I made sure that I went to my team leaders and had them actually write it down instead of just giving me the thumbs up. That way they get the information everyone.
Okay, Sina.
So I believe one that I had was, as a PhD, is to ensure that discipline was like upheld throughout the term. So like when we're done with all of our missions throughout the day, just like make sure we were
Okay, so you kind of get it, right? So you got to write something here that the individual can take with them and repeat it at another point. You done good does not help anybody. You got to put some context in here so that next time they're in that leadership position, they know, okay, you know what I got told last time, disseminating information, so I'm going to make sure I disseminate it and then make sure they back brief me on that information, right? So these are the actions and behaviors we want individuals to repeat in the future, right? All right? If someone's brave enough to give me something they got told to do better at, I will take it. Irvine?
I got told as a squad. I'll be honest. I don't care. I'll honestly be honest. I got told as a squad leader, our PSG didn't give us guidance. So as a squad leader, I was eating, and I was just eating with like a few people in my squad. And our captain came out and was like, "Irvine, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Eating, sir." And he was like, "Why are you eating with your squad?" And I was like, "I wasn't told to eat with my squad." He's like, "You know, the squad leader's a graded position, right?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "Shouldn't you be eating with your squad?" And I was like, okay. So I knew from there on, you should always have your squad together, just because when you're done eating, you could work on something else as like weapons maintenance or like just build squad like integrity and like be able to like come together closer rather than like being in your little friends groups or your cliques. It was just better to like understand that. So that I got a P for that, but the next squad leader role I got an E because I was able to like not mess up. That was the only negative I had. I didn't know that was something I was supposed to do, but then I moved on and learned from that.
Right, so this is stuff with behaviors and activities we want individuals to do better at. So you got to identify something that they can work on and improve for the next time, right? You're not good at tactics, does not help you. I can see that in the rest of the blue card, you don't have to tell me that, right? So give them something, even if it's something small, that they could take to the next iteration. Because the next iteration, maybe they were the platoon leader, now they're going to go back to the squad leader. Okay, you know what, I got told this last time, I need to bring that forward. Anybody else got anything? Miller?
Like you said about the tactic thing, mine was more so like expertise. I guess that's what you said. So whenever Op 4 came down our line, and I was the squad leader, I think I was the Weasel, he came down and basically like cleared like half of our line out. So what I did was I picked up like my 240s and I like turned them like this way, like forward, and I told them to assault through because our PO and our PO had passed. So I was like, you know what? So literally the Op 4 took out almost our whole thing. But I still ended up getting a P because I took like the PO role. And I ended up, I don't know, it was a long, it was a long lane. It was a long
You got achieved, right? You achieved the objective?
Correct.
Were your 240s pissed?
They were like, can we do that? I said, yes, do it. I said, do not look at contract. I said, do it, just do it.
We said from the beginning, we were
Mental
like, if
agility.
anybody tells you to support or like assault through with your 240s, do not do it.
No, they said it was good though, so I was like, all right. Assault through. Mental agility.
So make sure when you're writing these things, it's something that the individual can work on, you know, fairly quickly. Don't write, you know, read tactics FM. Okay, great. We're out in the middle of the field. I'm not going to whip out the tactics FM and you start reading, right? Or seek out peers for, you know, to continue to develop yourself or something like that. What do you got, Manager?
Oh, okay.
So make sure it's something that if I read it, I can go, okay, I know Gillentine needs to work more on push-ups. Boom. Not that that's what would be on here, but just an example, right? So myself, Mr. Chevalier, or in the cadre can look at these blue cards and go, okay, I know where this individual needs continued work or we need to focus in this particular area. And then obviously there's the block for additional comments. How many people had a significant emotional event right here? Every time, right? Every time? Just wait to see what that circle is, right?